3, 2.
Nah, don't say the numbers. You just gotta go.
You gonna be
You
quiet?
keep saying the numbers in your head.
I am. Just be quiet, yo.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
You shouldn't leave.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be talking about relationships
and
different types of relationships.
You feel me? Because there's many different types of relationships. We're just gonna kick it, and and whatever flow. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we all know that the first type and the most like prominent and the most like seen relationship is like a monogamous relationship. Now, a monogamous relationship just means that it's exclusive to a male or a male and a female, 2 males or 2 females. And for the purpose of this channel, we're gonna specifically focus on a male and a female relationships. But this is no disrespect to male and males and females and females. You feel me? Because hey, it's 2020 and it just is what it is, right? Yeah. All right, so cool. So how do you feel about a monogamous relationship? Do you feel like it's like personally like the norm, or do you feel like it's very like, or should we try to move away from how did you learn about monogamous relationships, and do you think it's normal, especially in 2020? I want to hear this. I want to hear like your perspective on it.
Of course, I feel like a monogamous relationship is normal. I'm in one, and it's what it's what you've been taught. Like you see your mom and dad.
For sure.
Growing up, they're together. You don't see your mom, a dad, and another dad. You see two solid people, and that's what you're taught. One man, one woman, or vice versa, man, one woman, whatever you float with.
For sure.
So if you grow up seeing that, then that's what you stick on, and that's what you are raised as.
For sure.
If you see somebody that had multiple people or wives or husbands, then you're more culturally going to accept that than somebody that didn't see it.
For sure. I see what you're saying.
I think monogamy is very common.
But do you think that like it's kind of like pushed down onto us, like as far as like our society goes, as far as like just in general goes, like like monogamy is like the only type of relationship that is like literally forced down our throats from birth. Like they don't show anything really.
Yeah,
other than
I think monogamy is like what you're supposed to do according to society. It's like if you do anything else, it's looked at weird. Like, okay, you do that? Like you like that? You like to be with people like that? So it's looked at weird if you don't because the society doesn't. I wouldn't say they don't accept it, but it's not the norm. It's not normal.
Right.
So I just feel like I don't know. Monogamy is it's what's placed. Like once you're born and you get into a relationship, it's like you gotta find your partner, your lifetime partner. That's what you're usually taught, So it's really big, and it's troubling because a lot of people don't last in relationships. Relationships as a whole, number one, is very difficult.
Let me be the first to say, relationships is very difficult.
It's not. I'm not gonna say it's not easy. It's easy if you make it easy, but there's a lot of things you have to learn. You have to learn the person. You have to learn the person's families, and you have to just learn a lot about the person. Learn why they do certain things. Learn why you do certain things. Why you act a certain way, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Like I know. For me, relationships are very, very. They're difficult. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, because I wouldn't say I'm toxic, but I would say that there are a lot of things that I have to compromise on and just adjust to. Because when you're in a relationship, you're not necessarily thinking for yourself. There's like another, you're also thinking for your spouse as well, or your significant other, or your wife, or your husband. But you're thinking for another human being, another life at that. You feel me? But now let's talk about.
Oh, so you don't have nothing else to say?
Nah. Relationships are. Oh man, I feel like I personally feel like when it comes to relationships, like a lot of people value relationships, and they take it extremely seriously.
Yeah.
Unless it either has to do with marriage, or sometimes they don't take marriage as serious as well. But I also feel like people like they tend to focus on relationships like heavily instead of focusing on like a relationship with themselves first. You feel me?
So you're saying people love themselves more?
Nah, I think people love other people
more
than they love themselves. And that's why maybe like, you know, like
I think I agree and then I disagree.
Oh yeah?
Because some people could love themselves, but they also want to share that love with somebody else. Okay. You know? They're so happy with themselves that like, I want to invite somebody into this happiness and make them feel good about themselves. So, but I get what you mean. Some people do rely on a relationship to make them happy. And that's not that's not even a smart thing to do. Because the person could disappoint you and then you just left there, you know, like just to deal with it.
Yo, and that's the thing. I truly feel like, yo, when it comes to relationships, a lot of people view them as like, yo, this thing, like, it appears as if like people tend to make relationships just like absolute. You feel me? And we had a conversation about this the other day, and it's like a relationship isn't really absolute.
It is.
No, it's not, man. A relationship isn't absolute. Like, a marriage doesn't make it absolute. Your word doesn't make it absolute. So a relationship is just...
what makes it absolute?
Nothing makes it absolute. I keep telling you. Like, I personally feel like nothing makes it absolute. And then, this is like, to kind of like segue from monogamy, it's like, do you think that people world over are born monogamous? I'm talking about for men and women. Like, do you truly think and believe that human beings were meant to be solely monogamous from the time they're born to the time they physically leave the earth?
Yes.
You think so?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because just from the beginning of creation, with Adam and Eve, you know, God created Adam, He created Eve. He didn't create Adam and Eve and Barbara and Sandra. He created one person for Adam, for her to be his helpmate, for her to be his partner, and just somebody that he has as a companion. So it, like, monogamy is worldwide, and I just feel like it depends on your culture. Let's get to that. It depends on your culture, how you're raised. So like I said in the beginning, if you're raised seeing that your dad had, you had multiple moms growing up because your dad had multiple wives, then that's not the norm to you. Like, you would accept it more than somebody that just grew up with a mom and a dad, you know? And other countries, they do have that, where like a man can have how many?
Like four.
Like four. Isn't that like the Islam tradition? Like a man can have four
wives.
Exactly. Sure. So that's someone's religion. They're allowed to have four wives, which I don't even think that's necessary. Like, what can these four wives do for you that one wife can't?
One woman can't.
Like, one woman can have multiple babies. One woman can cook, can clean. One woman can help you build a legacy. One woman can take you to the hospital, God forbid, if something was to happen to you. So what really is the need for those other women?
But if that's the case,
is it like, just feeding your desire of being with other people? You know, that way you don't get bored.
I think now we're diving into like the nature of men and women. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But I personally feel like most people on the planet are not meant to be strictly monogamous from the time they're born to the time that they're... I feel like human beings, like, we have a natural born instinct where we're attracted to the opposite sex and or same sex, and it's just, I wouldn't call it a desire, but I just think it's instinctual. You know what I'm saying?
To be with multiple people?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that, and that's...
Now, that doesn't mean like, yo, like, just cause like, yo, like, the person look good, you about to just like go over there, you feel me?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I feel like it all dies down to. Like, people want to be with multiple people because they want to say, oh, I was with this bad guy, like, yo, he looked mad good, and then I was with this other guy the other day, and he looked, you know, like, they want that like props. Like, yo, I was with multiple people. I was with an Asian guy, I was with a black guy, Hispanic. Like, they want to seem like they got it. Like, yo, I've been with
like
so
they
many
got the
people.
sauce,
Yeah.
right? Like they got the juice.
And vice versa for men. Like, yo, I was with a bad Spanish chick. I was with a bad black chick. Like, all right, like, calm yourself down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you get out of that? Being with multiple people. Like, what do you get out of it? You know, like, is it feeling something that you just want to accomplish out of life? Like, you don't want to die and be like, oh, only been with one person. You get what I mean? Do you feel like it's a accomplishment that you have to do in life?
Like have to accomplish. Like,
yeah, like,
conquer.
I gotta be with this race. I gotta be with this many people. You know?
Nah. I don't know. I think to dive into like just like the way males and females have just the same instinct, but we act upon them differently. I think like most men around the world, I wouldn't even want to say most. I definitely feel like a lot of men.
A majority.
Or
a good chunk.
A good chunk is a very good way to put it. There's a good chunk of men who are good men, but we also like we understand our nature, we understand our instincts, and therefore a lot of times we tend to act
on it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't mean that like men would love his significant other and or partner any less, but I truly feel that like yo, when it comes to acting upon certain things, that like men just have a different way and approach to, you know, just acting upon their instincts, as opposed to women is much more, I wouldn't say reserved, but women just, they don't just act upon things just, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like a woman's just, oh, he was good, girl, let me, woo!
Yeah, no.
You feel, that's usually not how it goes. Yeah,
like,
it's usually
what
like a
his family's
build-up.
like, what is he like? How is he acting?
Does he have goals? Does he make money?
Exactly.
Can he provide for me?
In the past.
Right. And men is just like, oh my God, like, oh, she looks good.
They just jumping into it.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's also more women than there is men around the world, man.
Yeah.
Like there's, like, you guys outnumber us a lot.
Men say that all the time, but like we have no control over that.
No,
you know?
I that's a fact. You feel me? But I just be wondering, like, why do you guys outnumber us by so much? Like, the numbers are, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Like worldwide, like women outnumber men around the world. Like, and it's not even close. Like y'all just. I wouldn't say that y'all the better species now, but you know what I'm saying?
We are.
I wouldn't say that they are the better species, but I would.
But you said something that I wanted to mention about
what?
Male nature. How you said something about you can have your partner and love them,
yeah.
But then see somebody, how you said it? Be with somebody else and not really love them.
That's
like,
that's also.
Expound on that. Like, what do you mean?
Expand on that?
I thought it was expound.
Nah.
It's
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Okay. So like, I feel like one thing I did learn about is, you know, the type of relationships that are out there. And aside from monogamy, that's just pushed down into our throats, and you know, like that's just what's shown to us. Another type of relationship you have is polyamory. Polyamory, monogamy, polygyny, and polygamy.
What's polyamory? That's what
polyamory is like an open relationship. It's like, okay, I'm with you, but you also have another partner outside of me who I have to know about, and vice versa.
So it's just everybody's getting some
like
love.
Everybody's just all up in the.
How you feel about that?
Oh man, I feel like that has to. Hell yeah. I feel like polyamory has to be done with a very select group of extremely intelligent people who are mature, people who have love for one another and each other, and people who just think a little bit more differently. You know what I'm saying? Like folks who tend to question, like, you know, just the norm and why things are the way that they are. Feel me? And there has to be a certain level of morals, principles, and communication. You feel me? Like, cause you can still cheat in a polyamorous relationship, which is crazy. Because even though it's open, all right, cool. let's just say Sarah is with Tom, and Tom has feelings for Sandra, but Tom breaks that rule of communication where like he doesn't tell right. So Tom is really acting like it's like he has the okay to do it under certain circumstances in which he chooses not to abide. There you go. Like he's still going behind his woman's back. So he's kind of cheating in an open relationship, which is kind of crazy because you have the ability and the freedom to do what you want so long as you communicate. But even that, my friends, it has to be like the very hardest part too. Like honesty, like let's keep it 100. In relationships, a lot of times women say that they want honesty, and then when you give them honesty, they be like, "Look, motherfucker, I don't really know you."
That's not true because I'd rather you be honest on how you're feeling than for you to hold it in and I find out another way. You know, don't have me thinking like you rocking with me, but low key like, nah, I'm not really rocking with you. Why didn't you tell me that? Why wasn't you honest? Like, why didn't you let me know? Like, oh, it's good. Like, how can we fix this? How can we work on this?
Do you think that women can be completely honest to their men in really?
Oh, in an open relationship?
In an open like, do you think a woman will feel comfortable enough with expressing herself fully to her partner and her spouse or her husband in an open relationship? Because like a lot of the times it's looked upon as like, yo, maybe men should be the ones who's open and should be honest. But do you think women have that ability? I'm not saying that they don't, but I'm saying as a woman, let's just say we were in an open relationship. Do you think you could be honest with me and say, hey, I find James attractive and I would like to see if I can continue to speak to James so long as we come to terms with it?
If we were in a relationship like that, I would be honest with you.
Do you think it would be difficult? Like, how would you tell me that? Like, I know I'm putting you on the spot right now, though. Like,
I don't think it would be difficult because.
Oh, so you think I'm just like a fucking walk in the park? Like, I fuck with this other nigga.
No. What I'm saying is like, if we're already in an open relationship, we already have that communication that we're gonna be with other people. You already know that from jump.
For sure.
If we said we're gonna be in an open relationship from jump, you know I'm gonna be with other people. So don't.
Nah, but you still have to.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Like
you still have to communicate that. Look, you fucking up the agreement already. Okay, you fucking it up already.
No. What I'm saying is, you guys have an understanding that you might find somebody else attractive and you're gonna be with them in that open relationship.
For sure.
So I feel like the woman can be honest. Why wouldn't she be honest? Like, why would you be sneaky? I will only see that in monogamous relationships where you know you love the person, but you really like interested in somebody else, but you want to tell them. That's being sneaky.
And that's the thing too, because like that boils down to like the monogamous thing. Do you feel that like people can suppress their feelings, their natural feelings for other people solely because they're in a monogamous relationship? Like if you found someone attractive right outside of me, which I'm pretty sure you have, because let's not get it twisted, I'm a handsome motherfucker. But at the same time, I understand that like
people are attractive too.
Hell man, listen, you know. But I say that
in life, everybody's gonna find, even if you're in a relationship like how we are, you're still gonna find other people attractive. We can't just deny that people are attractive. Like don't act like you don't have eyes. We have eyes. We see what we see. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So you could never deny like, yo, so and so look good. Like you can't deny it. You gotta be honest with yourself. People love to be like in relationships like, yo, you the apple of my eye, like you the only one for me. And I'm not gonna knock them because that could be true. Like
I don't know what the fuck people be getting these.
They could be at a point in their life like, yo,
you're the apple of my eye. Where you get an apple from?
Nah, but like they could be at a point in their life like, yo, this person's for me. Like this person's for me.
Yeah, but people also grow out of love with each other, and people grow at different points too. Like I wouldn't expect a woman to stay with a man if she felt like he's in the same spot. Like we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
Like
if you feel like
not making no growth. Oh nah, homie. We got deuces.
Vice versa, yeah, man or woman. Like if a man feels like the woman's not making no growth.
I feel like I don't know. This may sound somewhat like massage, whatever.
Okay, misogynistic.
But I personally feel like a lot of the times, if a male is successful, he might be willing to stay with a woman if she
doesn't have much.
If if she's not growing
Okay.
at a rate that he is.
He
because
is. Okay.
let's keep it a buck. Like, women naturally just look for stability. When it comes to men, all women can attest to it, whether they have it or not. But subconsciously, women look for something stable.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I feel like in that regard, a lot of the times men could be willing to compromise their integrity of being with someone if they see the person kind of stagnant, as opposed to just cut. Because let's keep it a buck. If a woman see that, yo, you've been in the same spot for a couple years,
Yeah, she
your
out.
ass is gone, dog.
No, that's
What?
a woman might give you a couple chances. Now after you done third, fourth, fifth time, it's like, all right, I gotta
she
go.
out, dog.
Yeah,
she
it's like, I
is
gotta
out.
go.
There's no, and she gonna do it smart too. Don't think she just gonna leave you and not have nothing on the side that she hasn't been talking. And I'm not pointing at her,
No,
but I'm saying like,
in general,
yo, women are really fucking smart. Like, women are really smart.
That's
man.
what I be saying though, because
But
men
y'all
say
stupid too.
that
Nah,
we can be like stupid at times. You know what a lot of women do though? They, like, if they're in a relationship, a bad relationship, they'll keep dwelling on that bad relationship. So like, they'll keep trying to go back to the person. Like, if the person was abusive or the person was a manipulator, it's hard to get away from them. It's like they have Stockholm syndrome. Like, I want you to do that to me, even though I know it's not good. And I don't know why we're like that. I think it's the caring or the nurturing being in us, that we just have to feel like we have to fix somebody. Sometimes you can't fix people. They gotta fix themselves.
Can't fucking fix.
People gotta work on themselves, honestly. So in that regard, we do that. So
Gotcha. I want to ask about another part or another type.
But hold on, did you
relationship.
describe polyamory?
Okay, so like polyamory is basically like an open relationship.
Yeah, open.
It's pretty much open. It's not exclusive to just 2 or 3 or 4 people. It's open. Like, if I got feelings for my woman, and I also have feelings for 4 other women, and she has feelings for 4 other men, and
It's
as long as
acceptable.
you feel, it's really acceptable.
Okay.
So we have polyamory and we have monogamy. Now we're gonna talk about polygyny.
Oh, polygyny.
Not to get confused with polygamy, which gets a lot of attention.
Confusing, yeah.
You feel me? There's polygyny. Now, a polygynous relationship is when a male has several females in that relationship, and all those women are strictly bound to that one man. How do you feel about that in that relationship?
Oh, so that.
And that type, that's polygyny. Now, polygamy is, I'll explain that, right? You see? I know what you're thinking, baby.
So it's one man, multiple women?
It's one man, multiple women. That's polygyny.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do you feel about that one? Like, just one man to several women.
Several women. Honestly, I'm gonna be dead honest.
Might as well.
I don't feel like it's fair.
Why is that? Because I got some questions for you in regards to nature now.
I'm trying to be mature about it, but I honestly feel like it's not fair because as a woman, you never want to feel like you have to share, something that you really care about. Like you don't want to come home and sometimes you want your partner to be there. Like,
all right, cool.
The camera cut off, guys, but we're talking about polygyny. So going back to my point, I just feel like for a man to have multiple females, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of detrimental to the mental health of the other females. Like, put yourself in that position. If I had multiple husbands, and you was my first main husband, right?
But we'll get to that.
Oh,
that's polygamy.
So polygamy is
when
a woman
having multiple male counterparts, and polygyny is when the male has multiple female counterparts. But we gonna get it. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say put the man in the woman's shoes. Okay. How would he feel if he had to share his wife with other men? Think of it that way. And I know you're gonna come at me with the nature, but go ahead.
Yeah. She know it, because we have these conversations all the time, right?
Yeah.
Now look,
we're trying to really be open. No, not the open. But we're trying to be open and honest
You're gonna
with
have
each
swingers
other.
in the comments.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like what's your number? But we're trying to be open and
For sure.
with communication with each other.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
communication is the best policy and honesty. So,
Yeah.
but go ahead. Go with your
Alright,
questions.
so in regards to polygyny, when a male has several female counterparts or whatever the case is, I personally feel like that it can help us, especially black people as a whole, as an entire a community. You feel me? Because one thing I learned about female nature is that like women naturally look for stability, which is okay. That's embedded in you guys' DNA. That's instinctual. Women want a man like a rock. Can this motherfucker provide? Can he
do so and so
protect? And that doesn't have to just mean like yo, you can beat everybody up in the fucking world, but no, are you able to
do the little things
to protect verbally? Like if someone like disrespects me, are you able to like shut that shit down? You feel me? So I feel like those are things that women look for. You feel me? So it's just wired in you guys naturally, like yo,
to have that.
Right. We want a man that's going to provide and to protect, bare minimum at the least. Can this man do something for me, even though I may be an independent woman, especially in 2020 with all the feminists? That's a whole nother video, you feel me? But women are wired to like think about stability because when it comes to raising a family, I feel like no woman in her right state of mind wants to willingly struggle in regards to raising her offspring.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to willingly struggle with a man.
Right.
She feels like she could do it by herself.
Exactly. You feel me? Now look, on the flip side of that, it's like now you have male nature. With women outnumbering men around the world, with there being literally a surplus of women around the world, and with there being a lack of good men who are able to provide and or protect, like together, not just one and you can't do the other. Like no, can you do both at a decent rate and or pace? I feel like certain men should consider polygyny because it will help the community, even though it's not taught to us in like a media type of a way. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be based upon religion, as far as like, you know, Muslims go. It can be organized, which I highly suggest, because the man has to be able to provide and protect. I personally think that if a man is going to practice this type of relationship, that he has to either give the women options, meaning you guys have the choice whether you guys want to work or not. You feel me? Because I already make enough on my own where I can provide somewhat equally for all of you guys. You feel me? And you still want the woman, you know, to work too, but I would say maybe part-time. That way they can still come back and focus on the collective, which would be the children being raised and being taught in a controlled environment. You
I
feel
have a
me?
question. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish.
All right. Where else was that? The nature of man. A lot of women around the world also complain about men cheating. You feel me? So I feel like maybe, okay, if women took the time to understand male nature, not saying that all men are gonna cheat, but if they took the time to understand, like, okay, why these niggas keep, what's going on? You feel me? Like, what is really going on? I feel like if women took the time to really like sit down and meditate and think about like, yo, how men move, because I personally feel that men have studied how women move a little bit more than women have studied how men move. And men may tend to manipulate how women move and how you guys think to use it against you guys. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know, because women are super smart and they're very intelligent, and men are just super, just like, you know what I mean? I don't want to throw my fellow males underneath the bus.
Things that's
Hold on, I'm about to protect myself. Like, what's going on?
But men, they just do things off the impulse. Like, I don't even think about it. Y'all think about it after it's done. Like, sometimes you might not, you shouldn't probably sleep with that person, but you did. It's like, oh, why do that after? You feel bad after, like, oh, I shouldn't have did it, but you did it.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't think about, as a woman, we think, like, is this worth it?
Yeah, but y'all still do y'all thing too. Cause let's not get to, man, we're gonna have to make several videos. Talking about this. We already half an hour. We half an hour in, son.
Part 1.
Oh man.
But I don't know. I feel like I had a question. Children with polygyny.
Polygyny.
So, how do you think the children would feel having one father, but they all don't have the same mother? You know, how does that make them feel?
This is the thing. I personally feel like,
you know, identity wise,
you have to pick a certain group of women who have a certain type of intelligence and a certain type of maturity, where we come to a collective understanding that, look, all of the women are the mothers. Hence that saying, it takes a village to raise a child, which it actually does, but the child has to know, and the women have to know too. Whoever is the what do you call it, the biological mom, yes, this is your child, but because we are in this agreement, this collective, this organization, this really business, because you should run your family like a business. You feel me? I learned that from Brother for Life. Big up. But I personally feel like once all the women know that we are all the mothers and we're all going to do our best for the collective, the group, the family, business, and the child and or children, what will happen is, or what you hope to happen is, that the child grows up with a different level of understanding, to know that, wow, like, I have several mothers and a father who provided for me, and they gave me all the love and the resources that I need, that I'm able to now grow up in a society where I think differently, yeah, but I'm also striving for excellence. Not to say that you can't have that in a monogamous home, but like I'm saying, with monogamy, that goes back to my previous question. Do you think that shit is just like suppressing what both men and women naturally feel? But just because it's shown to us, like, oh yeah, just one woman, you know, a man, husband, house,
I think,
kid, a dog, a fence, wake up in the morning, work, school, breakfast.
I feel like
Lego my egos.
I feel like it's to each his own.
Right.
It could be that it could be a couple that's like, yo,
for sure,
we for each other, like, let's do this. And it could be people like, I like you, you like me, but like, Barbara's looking really good right now, or Sam's looking really, you know? So it's like, but I'm gonna hold it down because I still like you more than I like them. Like, I feel like I'm more stable with you than I would be with them. You know what I mean? So they suppress those feelings. I feel like I'm not suppressing, but I get where they're coming from. You know, they might be holding it down like, yo, this is the norm, so we gotta follow it.
Yeah, I don't like people like that who just like go with rules just cause like someone said it's a rule. Like, fuck you. Like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, true.
Like, yo, who taught us this shit?
A lot of things that we're taught is just...
Yeah, we don't even question it, dog. We just say like, all right, we're gonna go along with it. And that's not cool.
And we
millennials, dog. Like, we're supposed to be like, what? Who the fuck? Who y'all? Like,
we're not trying to justify everything. You can, like, we just trying to be open to these things.
Alright, so let's talk about the last relationship type now. Polygamy. Now that's where like people think you're talking about like the shit. Cut the video. Nah, but that's where a lot of people think like, yo, it's the men with a lot of women.
Well, yeah, but it's vice versa.
So now look, tell me your idea of, I've been telling you my shit. I know.
So you don't agree with polygamy?
Hell no. For
See,
what?
you misogynistic.
Hell no. That's not misogynistic. That's cause like, what's the benefit of that? If women outnumber men, like, I can see if men outnumber, but if women outnumber men, if a woman, I was about to say this, if a woman has multiple husbands, what the fuck is, what you adding to the problem?
It's a bunch of men that's gonna be born regardless.
And then you talking about a bunch of husbands. Half of them niggas can't even provide for one.
That's why you gotta take them in your way.
All right, so now hold up now.
Nah,
I'm about to flip it. So that means like, yo, you willing to provide for the men?
I'm not providing for no man.
So
in my eyes, polygamy?
I don't know what you're talking about. Polygamy or polygamy?
Yeah, with the woman.
Polygyny?
No, polygamy.
With women having multiple husbands?
Yeah.
Polygamy.
Polygamy, it's doable because why can't a woman have multiple husbands? Why is it only for the man?
Because she's taking away from the resources. Why would you want to have multiple husbands and a lot of them niggas ain't shit?
You would get ones that's something like.
So you would take all the good niggas away.
That's why
you have like 4 good niggas.
That's why you stick with one person because it's a problem either way you look at it. Like you taking people from other people, you sleep with other people, you do this to another person. It's too much. Relationships, yo, they're so complicated. Like it's too much to think about, and people spend most of their lives like focusing on relationships. You know, it takes a good chunk. I say 40% of your life. You know, other things take up your life too, but relationships take up your life kind of almost the most. Yeah, relationships is something that like I feel like we need to really have.
Try to like yo, we gotta sit down, have a class, have like a level of understanding. You gotta have the elders like trying to, you know, kind of guide us.
Give their experience.
Yeah, like yo, look, you know, back in my day, but at the same time, that don't mean like yo, we gonna listen to that shit all the way. Some of that motherfuckers is just toxic. Like straight up too toxic. Like look, and some of them women like, oh look, you know, we cook and clean. Like that's no disrespect to women who cook and clean, but in 2020, you guys can do a lot more. Not to say that what you guys were doing back then wasn't, but you know, it's 2020.
Yeah,
or you can't do shit right now because it's pandemic and
true. Can't really.
So bitches is home anyway. Cooking and cleaning.
We learned. Some people learn something in this quarantine.
I ain't learned shit.
And he want to be somebody's husband. But you said something too about. You said something about polygamy, towards polygamy.
You providing
for something,
for the men.
So the woman doesn't have to provide for the men; they'll be providing for her. She'll just have multiple resources. That's all.
That's taken away from other women, though.
It is.
That's the problem. That's why I don't agree with it. Like, I got nothing to do with you're being misogynistic. But no, like when you say that, like, how can a woman have 4 men, 4 good ones at that, providing strictly for her when you have other women who can barely make ends meet, single moms who are struggling to make ends meet. And a lot of the times, it doesn't have to be because the father is in shit. Sometimes maybe, hey, the father could be in jail or something, or he just can't find a decent paying job.
That's what we need to work on too, as the Black community. We need to get a lot of our brothers out of the system because most of them are in there for things that they didn't do. For a little small, like minor, crime,
a lot of
or misdemeanor, something very small. So that's why us as Black people, we're very limited on who we can date. No, that's not true. I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. We're very limited on the type of people we can date, you know? You don't want to date a deadbeat, but like, if that's all that's in the street right now, what you gonna do, you know? You gotta take what you can get.
You don't have 4 deadbeats for husbands. Let me stop. Man.
I'm just saying, the Black community, like, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to work on. We have a lot to build up because we can't keep going on like this. We can't keep doing relationships like this because what's going to happen to our, you know, generations in the future? Are we going to keep acting the same way and not getting nothing out of life, you know? And just treating each other, it's, I'm about to get in my bag.
It's rough, man.
It's
really
just,
is rough.
Because you said something that clicked in my head about deadbeats, you know, and being in prison. You don't really hear other races speaking of, you know, relationships like that. Oh, so what if my husband's in prison? You know, they don't really have to think like that. So it's just tough. Relationships as a whole is tough, as we said in the beginning. But
it's weird because, like, you know what I'm saying, like, let's just say we had a child. You know what I mean? Like, I would feel good knowing, okay, let's just say I want to go to prison for, I don't know, what, killing somebody. I don't know. I don't know, but like, let's just say,
level.
Right. Let's just say I went to prison for whatever reason. I don't know. A part of me would feel like my mature side, it would feel very uplifting if I knew, like, okay, outside of me, at least, you know, my woman has a source of of provision. And then, you know, you guys are grown, so you do whatever the fuck y'all do while I'm in there. I'm saying like, it'll give me like a peace of mind to know like, okay, even though with me being in here for doing whatever I did, at least she's still taken care of to a certain extent and or a degree, and my child too, outside of the
Who's
prison
taking
world.
care of her?
It would have to be another high performing male, a male who I felt like understood the dynamic of the relationship and vice versa. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Let's just say I was in prison or whatever the case may be, and I had like 6 months. I don't know. They gave me X amount of time frame, and we stressed the importance of education. You feel me? Even with me being inside, if there was multiple women, the child could also be taught by the women. Like, okay, like let's just say, yo, I do math and history, and you do social studies and science. Another does reading and English, or reading is English, reading and writing, and then we have another one like, you know, arts and gym. You feel me? Like, we can make it, we can structure the relationship. All right, cool. So I guess, guys, to like wrap this shit up, because we kind of went on like this was supposed to be a short video, but we just started to talk.
Just getting things out,
you feel me? But I think to wrap it up, when it comes to relationships, try to figure out the type of relationship that you yourself want to be in, something that you're comfortable with. Practice open honesty and communication, something that I have to work on as well, because I know I'm not the best. I'm not the best for me. Sometimes I get in my bag, I don't want to talk. You know, that's just what it is. But I mean, also think about, you know, if you have a child or children, about, you know, just, you know, going against the norm and figuring out like, yo, what the fuck really is norm, and does the norm benefit us? You know what I'm saying? I personally think that polygyny is the way to go. One man to multiple women, so long as that man can provide and protect something stable for the women, because we know that women are just hypergamous, and women want stability.
No, women are not hypergamous.
Women are hypergamous.
No, men are manipulators, and they try to be with multiple people to do that too.
Now is where we gonna cut this shit out. All right, we gonna cut it right here. You feel me?
No,
but like, comment, share, subscribe, and also.
Well, I wasn't done.
Oh, go ahead. This is your channel.
But if you want to be, you know, life is a journey also. So take relationships as they come and as they go, you know. Don't take anything to where you're like, oh, this is the end of my life and I can't go on. Like, life will go on if something does happen in your relationship. You either work it out or you just talk about it and go on from there. But let us know what you guys feel about this.
Let us know in the comments, man. I'm definitely. What type of
relationship you're in? What type of relationship you're interested in?
Would you be open to an open relationship? Not to say we are, but would you be open to one? Would you be open to a polygamous relationship? But like, you know.
Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with what we were saying?
Agree,
Let us know in the comments below.
Relationships are extremely important, and we got to have this conversation in order for us to progress and teach the upcoming kids,
future
generation, us, you feel me?
So
one love,
stay positive. I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Share.
Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Bless. Iftar.